All right, let's start. Same question I asked Joe Madden, and Joe Madden used to manage the Angels, so maybe, again, he's being polite. He doesn't want to blow them up. But they're 4 out of the last wild card. Trout's now out for a while. Rendon is out. Neto is still out. Is it time to blow it up?
It's a minor blow-up. And when I say that, I think you have to move Ohtani. In my estimation, you go
That's not a minor blow-up. That's blowing it up.
I don't know if it's a blow-up because I believe in Ohtani and I believe in some of the young players that they have. They have a nice core of players.
But say goodbye to Ohtani.
But I would say goodbye to Ohtani and try to get as much pitching capital as I possibly could get. This guy will bring you a lot. I mean, you saw some of the trades that were made last year for guys who were rentals. And to me, I think that you can do serious damage with this guy because he's going to be a difference maker for a team on both ends.
Yeah.
And I think you can do a tremendous, you can get a tremendous haul. And I think Perry Minasian, I think it's got to happen, in my estimation, if he really wants to continue to build. And he can be right back in it. I don't think he's going to be able to get it done for this year.
Yet you take such a PR hit. That's not the way to do business. However, you've been in the business at the highest levels. So you know, could you do it in the real world? Say to your fans in Anaheim, in Los Angeles, like, hey, we got the best player maybe in the history of the game. We can't keep him.
I think
that's a bad sign.
It is a bad sign, except that if you also get into the sweepstakes for him next year,
but if you trade him, you're not.
It doesn't happen very often.
It's very unlikely.
But at the very least, you're going to get some serious capital for him, and that's the move. I know that's a tough thing to do, no question about it. But that was the right thing to do for him right now.
I'm not totally disagreeing with you. In the real world, it's tough. Who else should sell? Give me one team that should sell.
I think the Mets should sell. I think the New York fan base is going to be all over me until I talk about the Yankees. As far as I'm concerned, there's a bunch of guys you can sell and get a lot of capital. I mean,
the pitchers?
There's a whole slew of them. I mean, you look all up and down. There's definite trades. Ottavino, gone. Robertson, gone. Canna, even Marte, he said he would.
Pham's your best player.
Cohen
you can't trade your best player?
He would be able to put some money into that Marte trade. And I said, and again, I would actually listen on Pete Alonso as well. And the reason why I say
this is... You can't do that in New York.
Why
trading
not?
Alonso, that's your future. That's the guy you should retain. That's your draft and develop, stud first baseman.
But have they won with him? They have not won with him yet.
They won 101 games last year with him.
I think he's a very, very good player, but they have not taken it to the next level.
Ruben, you're in the #1 market. You draft and develop your own guy, slugging first baseman, who's doing a good job, whether he slugs 500 or 550 or 53 home runs, and you're saying to your fan base, when you're the richest guy in baseball, I guess we can't keep him. You've got to keep that guy.
Then why have they not signed him? They should have signed him then.
Yes, they should have.
Right. Yeah. So obviously they're not very close.
Yeah. You kept Ryan Howard, by the way, until the bitter end.
Well, we ended up signing him and it ended up biting us, because he ended up getting hurt. But for me, I mean, if they're going to keep him, then go ahead and sign him. Then at this time, you should.
I agree with that.
Otherwise, the highest level of capital that you're going to be able to get for a guy like Pete Alonso is right now, because you have him for this year and next.
Let me just ask you, because, again, especially on this show, we do this all the time, like, hey, blow it up, flip your assets, do this, be transactional. Again, you've been in many, many baseball seasons. Are we just too hair-trigger? Like, there are 3 months left where it could be a completely second half. And if you're the Mets, could you be thinking that way?
I have to say this. They have been just playing just mediocre baseball for so long, the Mets, as far as that team is concerned. I just don't see them having, believe it or not, this is going to sound strange for a team that is run by Buck Showalter. I don't know that they have, not just the talent, but do they have the culture to win? I mean, they collapsed at the end.
Doesn't look like it this year. It looked like last year for a full 5.5 months.
But I don't see it happening right now. Not on a daily basis and not consistently enough.
Okay. Are the Braves the best team in baseball? We rarely talk Braves baseball because they just keep humming along, doing good things, and they have the best record right now.
They are absolutely the best team in baseball, but they are not my favorite to win the World Series.
Who's your favorite?
Well, I think all of it depends. Now, they would be my favorite if Max Fried comes back and pitches like a #1, or Soroka comes back and pitches like he pitched, in 2019, because then they'll have Spencer Strider and Max Fried or Soroka.
Right.
And I have to believe that if you really want to win, you almost have to have 2 #1s, or a 1 or a 1A, in order to get through those short series. And to me, I mean, you got to think about the Yankees, because if Rodon comes back and pitches like he can, you got Cole, Rodon, and Cole as a 1-2.
If there's no Judge, there's no chance for them.
Oh well, Judge. I think Judge will come back. Obviously, Judge has to come back as well.
Right.
Those are ifs, but I think that they have to be a team that there's going to be a contender.
I think the National League, though, is so flat. They're so far in a short series. Of course, they could lose, like, you lose in 2 days, right? Yeah. You lose, like, you come in, even if you're the top, and they'll be a number 1 seed, you have a wild card team, you can get rolled right away. It happened to them last year. But odds are they're far and away better than anyone else in the National League.
Well, Atlanta is definitely far and away better than anybody else, but they have to get Max Fried back because they need a 1 and a 2. It can't be just Spencer.
All right, who's your World Series favorite? Now, I won't even challenge it. World Series favorite. You'd say, oh, put a milkshake down on that.
Oh, my goodness. Well, I will say the Atlanta Braves. I will
say so you do believe in the Braves. There you go. That's what you really think.
I believe in them because I do believe that Max Fried's going to come back and make a difference.
See, if you could have rolled the Rays right out of there, I would have shut up immediately. All right, I promise. Thank you, Ruben.